Let's go to Alicia in New York City.
So I'm lucky enough that at work I got picked for a fast track program.
Very cool.
So that's the upside.
What's the fast track program? Like a leadership track or something?
Yes.
Dude, way to go, Alicia.
Thank you.
You don't sound excited. And in this leadership program, they shoot us. Like you sound really sad.
No, the thing is, I believe me, I'm excited. You know, we're going to get to travel, and there's a lot of good things coming for it. It's a huge opportunity. However, I cannot wrap my head around the public speaking aspect.
Oh, no. Are you glossophobic? You don't like speaking in public?
Oh, it's happened late, like in the last few years. I was never, I don't think I was ever this nervous, but it has gotten terrible.
Are you nervous now? Because you're telling, like, you are talking to, well, there's only like 38 listeners. We doubled in the last week. Does this make you nervous being on the show? Or is that cool?
A little bit.
Okay, a little bit?
A little bit. Yeah.
All right, so walk me through, you're on a stage. Is it big crowds or little crowds or any crowds?
Oh, my God. On a stage, I think I'd pass out. I think it's, especially when it's work, I think it's because I put so much pressure on myself that I have to be on point at all times.
Okay.
So, you know.
Where does that come from, Alicia?
Probably because I was a young mom.
Okay.
So I've had to basically do everything.
Have you been able to do everything?
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Luckily, yes.
Have you been able? No. I'm not letting you get away with luck. That's one of those things that single moms do to not be able to look in the mirror and say, hey, you know what's up? I'm so dope. I'm Alicia from NYC, and I run this town.
No,
It's not luck. You've worked your butt off, haven't you?
Yes.
And you're real smart, aren't you?
Yes.
And you grew and raised a human and still managed to be on the leadership track, right?
Yes.
And I bet your baby loves you too, huh?
Yes. I'm very blessed.
No! I mean, you are, but you're also a good mom too, right?
Yeah, I do anything for them.
So cool. All right, so you put a lot into this. And the higher ups at wherever you work have said, man, you are the future of this place, and we're going to invest in you. And there's a part of you that's like, yeah, that's what's up. And then there's another part of you that's like, oh, no, they're going to find out. Is that fair?
You know, yes, that is pretty accurate.
And you can, how many kids do you have?
I have 2. You
can raise 2 humans and just, I'm going to do this. You know, if the thought of raising 2 kids by myself, that makes me want to not be alive. And you just handle that with grace and dignity and power and strength. Getting on a stage is simple, man. That's just you can be a clown up there, right? So when you think of getting on a stage, have you ever just gotten up to give a speech and just blown it? Just completely wet the bed on it?
Not that awful, no. I think I've stumbled and, said a couple things that, of course I would have done differently, but no, not.
Have you ever got off stage and your coworkers are like, that's the last time you're ever going to do that?
No.
I have. And I do this for a living, right? Are you still there?
Sorry. Yes, I lost you for a second. What was that last question?
I thought you said, I'm out of here. I said...
No.
No, I'm saying, I was asking, have you ever screwed up so bad that your coworker said, hey, you can never speak here again?
No.
Okay, I have. And I do speaking for a living. That's my job, okay? All right, so tell me, what are you terrified of? Like, what do you think is gonna happen?
I think it's just a failure. The not living up to, especially now, right? Now I'm in this. Now it's like, oh my God, now you have to just maintain and keep going. And I'm an over-preparer.
Okay.
I will, prepare and read over and look at everything and try to prepare for all the questions. And I think my biggest fear is if there's a question that I don't have the answer to.
I'm going to teach you a magic phrase. You ready? While you're talking about being an over-preparer, I'm watching James and Kelly. They're just rolling their eyes back there. They're like, wow, that must be nice to work with someone who actually prepares. Here's a magic phrase, okay? I'm gonna save you $1 million. Ready? Repeat after me.
Ready.
I don't know. I'm gonna find that out.
I don't know. I'm gonna find that out.
Yep. See, look at that. Dude, we were solving problems on this show. All right. So here's the thing about glossophobia. That's just the nerd term for fear of speaking in public, right? It is, I've never read the direct study, but anecdotally, it's repeated often enough that I'm going to consider it fact for the time being, that it is the most common phobia. People are more scared of speaking in public than they are of actually being dead. Okay? And for somebody who speaks in public for a living, I can't wrap my head around that. But I can hear it enough to know, here are folks like you that are like, I would never, ever get on that stage and do that. So does preparing wear you out, or is it exciting? Is it fun?
I like getting, when I start feeling comfortable, like, okay, I got this. I'm here. I got that. But yes, I do get worn out sometimes. Okay.
So a couple of things I want you to know. Number one, I was working here, and you know the name Dave Ramsey? Does that name ring a bell?
Yes.
Okay. It was like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I just finished filming some stuff, and I was about to leave, and there was a small event. This is right before COVID kicked off. There was a small event that was going to take place on a Saturday up here at the building that they were filming for a video shoot. And wouldn't you know it, that on stage at 3 or 4 in the afternoon was not only Dave Ramsey, but also my buddy Chris Hogan, who both of them have done live events in front of millions of people. And there was a small stage. They were both on it. They were both facing opposite directions, and they were practicing a talk they were going to give to a couple hundred people. And that's when I realized, oh, that's what the greats do. They practice. They prepare. And I had just been a guy that would write down a speech on the back of an envelope as I'm walking up on stage, and it's gotten me by, but I realized, whoa, this is a whole other level of preparation. And so you've already got that, right? You've already got the part where I need to make sure I know what I'm going to say. The people in the audience, I want to be a steward of the most precious resource on earth they have, and that's their time. 30 minutes, an hour that you're giving that talk, they can never have that time back. I'm going to be a steward of that. I'm going to practice. I'm going to know what I'm going to say. And so then from there, I'm going to give you a couple things that can help you on stage, okay? And then a couple things off of it, all right? So
I'm ready.
Think of public speaking not as a lecture, but as a conversation. When I switched from thinking I had to give info to I was just having a conversation with folks, everything, my heart rate changed, my shoulders changed, all of my physiology changed because what I was doing in my body was different. I wasn't talking at people. I wasn't teaching at people. I was just talking to folks. And it just shifted. And suddenly I've given a same talk to 10 people around a table that I've given to 1,000 people in an auditorium. It becomes the same thing because I'm just having a conversation. I can adjust it by people and size, but it changes my whole heart, right? And the speakers I've met that I love the most on stage are very similar to who they are off stage. So instead of thinking it as a performance, as a make or break, as now I'm a Backstreet Boy or I'm Jay-Z, like I got to go up and like the lights are on. No, man, I'm just having a conversation. Backstage, I was having a conversation with 3 people. I'm going to go have this conversation with 300 people on stage. It just shifts your entire physiology, right? And then as things get more magnified and bigger, your heart rate will stay the same. You know what you're going to talk about. You're prepared, right? You're way ahead of me, Alicia. And then it just becomes about, and I bet, are you real funny? My guess is you are real funny, like dry, witty. Someone's going to say something and you will just do mic drop after mic drop with your friend group. Is that fair?
I can be very quick.
See,
if it's something that is completely non-work related, it's totally different. That I'm game. Let's do this. But when it's work related, it's like, oh my god. Okay.
Okay. So here's where that anxiety gap is the gap between you, who's the person that your company hired, you who is hilarious and your friends love, and you're trying to put a space between them. And I want you to close that space, and I want you to be you everywhere. Because the world needs to hear about single moms who are awesome and get put on leadership tracks, right?
Right.
You've got some wisdom to share that me and my community need to hear, that your work community needs to hear, that the world needs to hear, right? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Your company is paying to make you better. They are fast tracking you. How can we get her in front of more people quicker? That's how much they invest, how much they think you're good, right? So I want you to close that gap, and I want you to be witty and funny in conversation with your buddies at the bar the same way. You got 2 kids, you're not at the bar. The same way, like at wherever, at daycare, whatever. I don't know where you happen to be going from place to place. And I want you to be that same person on a stage, and they are going to eat you up. And that just has to do with, I'm going to have conversation. I'm not performing, right? Here's the second thing. The nerd word is exposure therapy. That's just a fancy way for saying you got to put yourself in situations where you got to do it. And that can look like signing up for different kinds of speeches, all different kinds of places. If there's a mom's group, a education group on Saturdays, if it's a church group, whatever that looks like, wherever you can get in front of folks to practice this skill of just being who you are off stage, walk up on stage, heart rate never changes. I'm just going to have a conversation. Man, you're going to get better and better and better at it. Because when you talk to 10, you can talk to 1,000. If you can talk to 1,000, or you can talk to 100, you can talk to 5,000. It's easier that way because, man, they are more distant and further along, right? And then here's the final thing. Find your humor in everyday moments and take it on stage with you. Give me a funny joke right now. You can do it. Do it. Make me laugh, Alicia.
Oh, my God.
What's the funniest thing your kid has done recently?
Oh, my kid's in his 20s, so they just constantly, my kids are in their 20s, so they make fun of me all constantly. So.
They're in their 20s? Oh, come on, man. You are at the bar. All right, so what's one thing that make you laugh?
What's one thing they do that makes me laugh?
Yes.
Oh, when they just do imitations of how I raised them.
Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to take those imitations of how they raise you, and you're going to imitate them imitating you. And that's going to be an awesome lead into to any sort of talk you're going to give. And everyone in the audience is going to either have had parents that they imitate and mock, or they're going to have kids that they're tired of imitating them. Right? It's the whole. You're going to build rapport with that audience. Find places to practice. Be who you're going to be off stage, on stage. Just have a conversation with folks. And more importantly, know this: your company would not be investing in you if they didn't think you were the right person. Here, I want you to hang on the line, Alicia. I'm going to give you a copy of this book, Redefining Anxiety. Any sort of phobia tends to manifest itself in this anxiety, especially this situational anxiety. I want you to check this book out, read it. To everybody else out there, this book's $10. It's easy read. If you can't read, this book's for you. If you're really smart, fancy pants, this is for sure for you because you're not that. I'm just kidding. But yeah, check it out. It's $10. You can get it on johndelony.com. But Alicia, hang on the line, and we're going to mail you a free copy here.